Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are finally building the entrance. I say finally, for you it's the second episode, but for me this entrance took so long. I really like how it came out. I end up doing a lot of changes in this episode. Like you'll see, I do a lot of initial building and it all changes a lot. So you'll see those revisions. There's definitely a lot of revisions I cut out just because it was almost unnecessary and too long, and watching it in the speed that I have it at, it just wasn't very, I guess, enjoyable is what I would say. But yeah, so I'm really excited to get this video out and you guys can see how this goes. I'd say the total amount of footage that this episode was about 8 hours. And unfortunately, those 8 hours were spread out across 6 days. I uploaded the last video, I want to say last Friday, from when I'm currently recording this voiceover, and I've kind of been working on that entrance ever since. And between life and work, it's taken a long time to get this episode out. So I'm glad I can finally get this voiceover recorded between. Given I sped up the footage, so that definitely cut it down a lot, but putting 8 hours into a Premiere Pro sequence is painful. It's a lot to cut out, so I sped it up by, what did I do? It's 800%, so 8 times. That's what this whole video is at. I think last video was at 6 times. So this video is a little faster just because last video was half the length of this one, not the full video, just the footage that I had. So but yeah, so I had a lot more footage, a lot more to go through, so this episode definitely took a lot longer in terms of just what free time I had and what I had the most to use. So yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to see this, and I thought I'd just start by saying that this whole entrance it's not a direct copy. I mean, it's clearly not a direct copy, but my main, what's the word I'm looking for? Reference? Yeah. My main reference was the Woodland Park Zoo entrance. I really liked the wood tones that entrance has. It's up in, north of Seattle, Washington, here in America. I actually grew up, how long was it? 3 hours south of that, and I'm really mad I never went, because the research I did of that zoo while building this entrance, that zoo looks incredible. The wood tones and the black highlights, and I really wanted to use that as inspiration, but I didn't want to copy it. I wanted to make my own, because I've already seen plenty of recreations of that entrance online, and I wanted to make something that's my own, but also use the reference of this that is so amazing, and I absolutely love it. So I think this came out pretty good. It definitely doesn't look good at first, I'll say that. I learned a lot while building this too, between just how the pathing worked, and I'm not a complete newbie at this game, but I do still have a lot to learn. Like, I know a lot of these other YouTubers out here that I think we all watch, they have got hundreds, thousands of hours on their belt, and I do not. So there's still a lot that I'm learning, definitely how pathing works and how custom pathing, and I did some custom paths at the very end of this video, but it's I don't know, it's not like super custom, it's just the like flooring pieces on top of path work. So it ended up coming together. But yeah, I guess as you guys saw, I'm kind of rambling a lot, but as you guys saw there, I did this sort of tower thing with the glass on top. So the idea, I actually went onto my iPad that I use for all my landscape drawings that I do for my classes and my designs, and I actually drew up this entrance. I'll probably throw that up just so you guys can have a reference of what I'm talking about. But the building shape and what I wanted and where, it's very loose. You'll see in the photo. It's not, I wasn't going into detail. I wasn't spending hours on it, but I wanted to really brainstorm before I got to the building. So that way I could jump right in and not really have much of a just sitting there staring off into space moment. And I mean, I still have plenty of those in this recording, but I still wanted to know where to go right off the bat. So these building shapes that I kind of traced out in that black flexicolor concrete, these are the building shapes that I had planned. And then obviously, stuff minorly changes here and there as I realized how function would actually work. Like here, I put that bathroom in with that opening. The idea was that, so this building I'm building right now, this is the cafe restaurant thing. So it's gonna have an entrance on the outside of the entrance and on the inside, and it's more of like you don't have to go into the zoo to eat there. Kind of like I guess a Costco, if you guys know what that is. So you can still go in and eat there, and there's just like a security guard waiting on the other side of that other way, so you don't sneak into the zoo without paying. Obviously, that's not how this zoo is going to work because this zoo is free. So, but yeah, so I have that bathroom there because you can either enter the bathroom from around the side of the building. I still got to build it out, but you can enter it from either around the side of the building when you're just in the zoo, or it's just a bathroom accessible in the cafe. So it's kind of a dual purpose. So you can go around the building. I end up editing where it goes, so I still need to expand the building on that side to actually make it look like a bathroom and not just a block. I actually don't do any detailing inside of the restaurant. Oh yeah, and then this other building is a gift shop, and then this area that I actually just sectioned off right there, this is going to be a staff area. But that more rectangular piece on the other side of it, that is going to be a gift shop. So I didn't detail the insides of any of these. I just gave it a floor. And then I'll detail them both in the next episode, or I'll just do it off camera, and the next episode will be the first exhibit. I'm not sure what I want to do there. We'll kind of see what the reception on this video gets. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. But speaking of reception on videos, really exciting. Not only did I gain a couple subscribers, I definitely think a lot of them were my friends, but that's good. Any growth is growth. But almost nearly 100 views. I think right now we're at 92, which is huge. I feel like a lot of people really downgrade like view count. It's just like, yeah, well, that's only 90 views. You've got this guy down the street that's got 6,000. But if you've ever thought about being in a room with 90 people, that sounds horrible, but that's a lot of people. And so I love that people have viewed it and seen. And on top of that, that video, Leaf commented on. The Leaf, the Planet Zoo YouTuber. I was so incredibly shocked. I watch his videos like crazy, all of his mod showcases and his tutorials he's done here and there in his San Gabriel Zoo. He's been a huge inspiration for starting this channel. So just the fact that he commented on that was absolutely huge, and that was really exciting. So Leaf, if you're watching this, I really appreciate it. I hope that you stick around and you can see where this goes. I'm excited to see where this goes. I have a lot of plans, and those plans I've actually also done a rough draft on. I did the same thing on my iPad. It's very rough, but my main source of inspiration for it, it's not necessarily I don't know how to say it. It's not a direct copy of any specific zoo, but I grew up in southern Washington State, and my local zoo was actually the Portland, Oregon Zoo. I went to this zoo all the time as a kid, and it had a huge impression on me, and I'm gonna be honest. Portland itself gets a bad rep, but this zoo, it is it's amazing. So how I'm going to structure this zoo is similar in inspiration to the Portland Zoo. So what I'm going to do is, from this entrance, leaning to the left of it, there's going to be a section called the Great Northwest. And this is going to contain things like the moose, the American beaver, cougars. We'll do some pronghorn. What else? What else we got? Definitely a couple exhibit animals, but not too many. Oh, maybe some bison, and that's for sure. And then some viewing galleries, and I definitely want to do a lot of like evergreens and pine trees in that area. Definitely blend it with the rest of the park, but I want to give this very like P&W feel, just to kind of pay homage to not only where I grew up, but the Portland Zoo that I'm kind of basing my zones off of. And then hanging right of this, I'm spacing. Hanging right of this entrance is going to be Pacific Shores. And this is going to contain like gray seals, the American sea lion, and then we're going to have, I think, the penguins. And I think that's going to kind of bleed into having some like polar bears. I'll probably stick with that. I don't really plan on it being a huge zone, but I definitely kind of want to just do water-based animals that are in the American region. So like I'm not gonna have like giant otters, but I definitely I really want a nice gray seal habitat. I really wish we had sea otters. I love little sea otters. We don't have those, but if we did, that'd be great. Frontier, if you're listening, I want sea otters. I could do mods. It's not that I don't support mods. I fully support mods. I think they're amazing. I am just not comfortable with downloading them yet. I'm not too confident in getting those downloaded and actually like getting them to work properly. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna save myself the hassle and not even worry about it. So, anyways, yes, those Pacific Shores, they're gonna be hanging on the right side, and that's gonna be all the water animals. And directly in front of the entrance is going to be the first exhibit. I'm still working on what animal that's going to be, so I don't have an answer for that yet. You'll probably see in the thumbnail of whatever next video there is. But then behind that will be an area called New Asia, and this area is going to have sloth bears, the red pandas, the river hogs, and then we'll have some exhibit animals with some snakes, and we have pandas. And I want it to be, I don't want to go like full on like Japanese, we have all the pagodas and all the crazy, but I definitely want some like bamboo forests and kind of this like Zen garden kind of feel. And then kind of a rainforesty vibe. So that'll be really fun. Now to the right of New Asia and above Pacific Shores, we're going to do a discovery zone. Now this is going to be kind of a mix and match, so it's not going to have any specific theme to it. But this is where we're going to have like an insect house. We're going to have like a farm area, so that's where we're going to get the barnyard animal pack in. So we're going to do some of those Highland cattle and the pigs and the goats, and so that'll be fun. I'm thinking maybe some also outcast animals, so nothing that really necessarily fits in its own zone. So maybe some like sand cats, or maybe some more deserty animals over there, because the other areas I'll tell you won't quite make sense. Maybe one of them. I'll think about it. Anyways, so moving back more to the left of the park, we're going to go, so above the Great Northwest and to the left of New Asia is a rainforest area. Now this is where we're going to have probably a reptile house, and we'll do the saltwater crocodiles and caimans and some monkeys, lots of exhibit animals with those big bugs, and I know I'm going to do an insect house in the Discovery Zone, but I also want something over there. So definitely we'll probably do a tiger habitat and the jaguar. There's a jaguar in this game, right? Yeah, there's a jaguar. So we're gonna do that zone, and the final zone, so this will be the final one, will be directly above New Asia, and this will be the biggest zone because this is going to be African adventures, and this is where we're going to have the basic large Savannah tour with the Jeep, and then we'll have other side exhibits with some other African animals. Not only is there going to be a safari tour, but there's also just going to be base exhibits for said animals. So I'm thinking possibly doing a big right on Safari Zone in the middle, and then surrounding that Safari Zone, I don't know how I'll do that. I'll figure it out. But surrounding that Safari Zone will be the exhibits for these animals. So like the giraffe, the rhino, the lion. Now the lion will obviously have its own, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Animal Kingdom in Disney World, but they have the safari where you do see a lion, but there's a giant moat and an angled fence where it looks like you're riding right next to the lion, but they actually have no way of getting over to you. So I kind of want to draw some inspiration from that, do that over there. So yeah, African adventures, basically just all African animals. Like I said earlier, I think I might be able to fit some deserty animals, maybe like the desert fox and stuff like that. I don't really have a lot of room for any of the like Australian animals in here. I definitely might be able to fit some of those in the Discovery Zone, like the koala could be kind of cool. So we'll do that. And then I'll obviously scatter throughout, I'll have some more open courtyards where there'll be eating and seating, and maybe even, like, I know I have an open courtyard here planned for in between Pacific Shores and the Discovery Zone. And I'm thinking that might have an opening that looks at the gray seals with like an auditorium looking thing. And then I have another open courtyard area over by the rainforest and the African Adventures area. And then that'll have maybe another seating area that kind of looks out over the Savannah, which could be really cool. And then the idea with all of this is this doesn't look like multiple separate segments, kind of like a theme park had. Well, I guess not as much of a theme park, more like Disneyland or something, where that has like the Fantasylands, the whatever the other ones are. And it looks it's a very stark difference. So my idea is that all of these blend very naturally, but as you're walking through, you can very easily tell that you're in this new area. So, you know, you're going from the Great Northwest to New Asia. So now you're no longer looking at evergreen trees, you're looking at bamboo stalks. But it also would have these animals in between that kind of merges the two. So like Great Northwest and the rainforest would just have some sort of animal that kind of fits the description of both, or rainforest and African Adventures could have, you know, the jaguar, you know, because obviously Africa has rainforests. So I could kind of merge them, and it's a very seamless transition going into the next area. And you're kind of like, oh, I'm in the African area now. I didn't even realize that, you know, and I want some big baobab trees over there that are very clearly fake in a way. Like in this game, obviously they're baobabs, but this zoo is located. I actually don't know where this zoo is located. I mean, I picked the European like valley area for this area, but I don't know. I think it's pretty nice. Anyways, and then surrounding this entire place is going to be a train track with multiple stops, because I definitely plan on this being big. I don't think this train track is going to be built anytime soon. It feels more of like something I maybe build slowly, because I have the train track kind of cutting through certain areas. I probably put my little drawing up on the screen already, so you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. But I have multiple train stations that get near the open courtyards, so those courtyards have a train station you can get onto. But also got to keep plenty of space around so that the animals don't get scared, and that way it acts as transport for this large zoo, but it still has the safety of, or I guess the care for the animals around it. But yeah, that's kind of my plan for the zoo. I'm really excited to see where it goes. Obviously this isn't going to be done anytime soon, but I also have a full plan on getting this done. I'm really excited. It's going to be a while, and obviously way within the time that Planet Coaster 2 is going to be coming out. I'll definitely be doing a series on that. I'm not just a zoo lover. I love me some roller coasters. So I'll be building that, and we will, I don't know, I guess we'll see what happens. So, all right. So yeah, well, I'm really excited to get started on that. So anyways, I feel like I've been talking a lot about that and not about what I'm building. So as you've seen, I must have missed it. There was a cut a while back within here where I put that kind of arcing flat roof over the middle where the entrance is. I cut that out because I completely redo it later. whatever I did was lazy, and I didn't think it looked good. What I do later, I think looks good. It's more based on the Woodland Zoo entrance, so it looks a lot better in my opinion. So yeah, I completely cut that out. We'll see what it looks like later. Here I'm using Wyatt's fonts. I will link what I used. Any workshop items I use, I will link in the description. I think all I used was Wyatt's fonts in this. I don't think I used anything else. So I'll link the fonts in. They're amazing fonts. They worked really great. I think they look amazing. And then here I'm just putting in the crosswalk. I don't think it's like a official looking crosswalk, but it works. It works. Well, everything that I've cut out so far, it seems very, I guess I don't want to use, it seems confident in what I'm doing here. And don't get me wrong, I am. I definitely have the idea of what I want, but the idea of getting what I want took a long time. At one point, I was actually talking to my wife. She helped me plan a lot of this in terms of like the actual building design, because I'm the landscaper. I'm not too great at the building design. I got it figured out pretty good. But she helped me in actually gaining the confidence of not deleting this whole entrance. I was so close to deleting this whole thing and restarting, because I couldn't find my groove. I mean, I'd have times where I would just be sitting there for 20 minutes just staring, not knowing where to start. And I just watched some entrance building videos online and helped me get that confidence. And yeah, it definitely helped. I got moving, and once I got that ball rolling, I kept getting more ideas of what to do, and I was able to do it. So it worked out really well, and I like how it turned out. This glass roof was actually also my wife's idea, so I guess I'll give credit to her. She kind of mentioned that the right side of this entrance didn't seem to have a lot of height to it. It was just a flat building, and based on how the left was looking with the tall tower, it needed some sort of balance. So I added this glass kind of dome roof to not only add some depth to it, but to give it a little bit of light in there. One thing I don't do in this video, which I'll be doing off screen, is this whole building, this whole entrance doesn't have windows in the walls. I kind of just built the walls and went on with my day. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be replacing a lot of these walls with glass, like floor to ceiling glass. Actually, with reference to the Woodland Zoo entrance, I really like their floor to ceiling glass. So I'll be doing that. I kind of did that in some doors at one point. You'll see that. I did have a whole section of footage that I lost. I honestly don't know why it deleted, so I don't know where it went, to be honest. But there's a whole section of footage where I redo that top part over the top of the entrance, and then I add some glass doors to everything, give it a more modern feel. And so it worked out pretty good. Here I'm just landscaping the actual surrounding part of this plaza. I think the landscaping came out really good. I was going for a not pristine landscaped kind of area. I feel like this isn't supposed to be like, I don't know, like a business building. You know, it's still a zoo, so I wanted to give this wild feel to it while also making it somewhat good. So I end up adding, I curb it all. This took a while. I curb all of my mulch areas. This is the only one I left in because I just wanted you to be able to see like what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. But I completely cut out all the other ones because it's so much time. There's no point in watching all that. I know if I was a viewer, I would absolutely hate it. So I don't. But yeah, this is basically how I curved every single area, just slowly pulled each section of this flex color bricking and just spun it ever so little on each turn. And I think it turns out really good. I think it shapes the mulch really well because the mulch kind of has this blocky feeling and sometimes it'll stick out a little bit and it looks kind of funky. So I think it definitely cleans up all the mulching areas and makes it look a lot more professional. And then the landscaping surrounding everything looks really good in my opinion. Full credit to Caesar creates in terms of foliage planting. I feel like I'm taking away my credibility in being a landscape architect, but it's not about landscaping in the real world. It's more about how to make it look realistic in this game. And Caesar does a fantastic job. Not to discredit anyone else. The Leaf's landscaping is incredible on San Gabriel Zoo. The lady designer, Adam Up. But yeah, I really like all of their work, and I think they all definitely served as an example as to how to not only make your parks look good, but make them look natural. And I think that's a big deal in at least this game. If you want to go for realism, I know a lot of people go for that really stark realism. And I think I said it in the last video. I'm not necessarily going to go for insane levels of realism, but I definitely want this to feel like an actual zoo you could visit. So I want to do, realistic backstage areas for animals. Like, I know one of Caesar Creates videos, he went as far as to doing a kitchen in the restaurant. I'm not going to go that far. I think that's a little much for me, especially for my PC. I have a decent PC. It runs the game just fine, but I don't want to up that piece count too much. So I'm definitely going to go for realism more on the front of what I care to see. So I guess what you care to see is up to you. So you make that decision on your own, but I'll be doing what I want to do, and I'm excited for that. So I'm just curbing this. I think I left this part of curbing in just to show that in the side, but I'm trying to think of what else I could really talk on here. I mean, I'm really excited to start on the entrance animal. Don't get me wrong, I love this game, but the exhibits is what I'm here for. I love the landscaping of the other areas, but building like this entrance, I knew I had to do it. I'm really confident with it in the end. I really like it, but it was painful, man. I couldn't get the groove I wanted. It was just building and blocks, and it's not that I don't like the building in this game. I think the building in this game is incredible, and but it's more of a case of just building something that doesn't involve the main premise of the game, and that's animals. I guess, hate me if you want, but it's not my cup of tea. I love that feeling of satisfaction when something is done, and boy, did I have it when this was. Now I just need to get the creativity and how I'm going to get this entrance animal started, but we'll get there when we get there. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. I'm trying to decide which way I want to go with the zoo, with what my plans were. I think I'm going to start going left. I'm going to do the Great Northwest first, and then I'll probably go back and do Pacific Shores and kind of work my way up that way, and then do like New Asia, and then the rainforest, and then the Discovery Zone, and then probably the African Adventure last. Kind of form it as I go along, and then just hopefully everything kind of clicks in on its own, so it kind of just merges. Obviously that's up to me. I have to merge it, but we'll get there when we get there. Anyways, yeah, so I'm still landscaping this area. I lined it with flowers because, like I said, I wanted to give it a public plaza feel. So, it's vaguely landscaped, but this nature is still kind of taking over, and I only keep this landscaping to this general area. It doesn't look very realistic when you zoom out. You'll kind of see here soon whole sides going down to the bottom of the road, and the inside area between the road and the parking lot is completely flat and unlandscaped. That I am 110% doing off camera. I have no reason to really show that. It's kind of just filler space. So I'm kind of just going to line it with a bunch of trees and bushes and just make it seem like just an open field, and definitely lots of trees and bushes to kind of give it this enshrouded feel, and you open up into this great big zoo. So definitely going to do that off camera. And then we'll see how it looks from there. I added those chain links there. That's probably not going to stay that way, but that was just to kind of, like right here is what I'm talking about. But yeah, I added that chain link fence to go along there just to kind of give me the boundary of where to landscape. I want the zoo, it's going to dip down like Pacific Shores in the Great Northwest. It's going to dip down technically in front of the entrance, if you know what I mean, like in front into the sides. So it's going to dip down in that sense. And then the chain link will kind of act as a boundary. That chain link's not going to stay there. It's temporary, but it's going to be there in the meantime just to kind of show where I want to go. And then I can kind of landscape in the vicinity and then slowly merge it together. I'm still going to have a chain link fence around everything, just, you know, for intruders so no one tries to break in. But that's kind of the plan for now. Here I'm making a fountain. I'm not too great with the water like this in this game. I'm good at the waterfalls, but in terms of like making fountains and stuff, I'm not very great at these water spouts. So I did my share. I did my best that I could. I think it came out pretty good. I do lower these, so it doesn't look as big. But, yeah, this whole area is really coming together. My idea with this area was you have the entrance, you walk straight in, or if you're just here for the cafe, you go left into the cafe. This round circular area, I'll build it later, but this is where like the waiting room. So you'll have the ladies sit there and wait to talk to you, and or man. Anyways, you'll have the person standing there to take your name, and then you can sit there and wait to go get a seat. Or you can come outside if it's a nice day and come sit in benches around the fountain and sniff the pretty flowers. And so it's just a large waiting area, just a, you know, public plaza for where people can sit. So it ended up working out really well. So yeah, I'm really excited on how this is coming out. I do completely replace the flooring here soon. I went with the concrete initially because I thought it felt the most realistic. And then I realized I don't want basic. So I do completely change it here soon. I do more of, I can't remember the piece I used. It was like not Indian temple, but it was some sort of temple wall piece or temple floor piece. And it was like these very thin brick slats that were bright orange initially, until I realized they were Flexicolor. And then I made them all different shades of gray, and oh my gosh, it looks so much better. It looks so good. Like, it just gives this modern feel that the Woodland Park Zoo entrance has, that this entrance has, and it really capitalizes on it. I don't know, I loved the way the flooring turns out. There it is, that was the cut. You'll see it a little better later, but I completely changed that front top part, so that's where it has like the gray, almost pergola type design on top. And then I changed the wood in between, and now it's like the slatted wood from the conservation pack. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't play with the conservation pack much, had no idea that wood existed, and now that I know, I love it. I wish I used it on everything else, but it looks really good. So I used that slatted wood, made it the same orange. And then I added one of those, I don't know how you describe them, but it's like the pole things that you exit out of, where it only spins one way and it's kind of like a cage that spins. I added one of those. I built it by hand. I didn't do anything from the workshop. I think it's pretty accurate. I don't know, it looks good to me. But I added that as the exit, so I think it all turned out really well. It looks way better than my initial one did. It's really unfortunate that I didn't get the footage for building all that, because it was nice. I mean, this video was long enough. I guess it's not the end of the world, but it was nice because it kind of pulls the whole entrance together. It looks legit. So you'll see more of that later. And I guess, I mean, I don't have any footage technically of building any of the tops. I just kind of thought that the first one I did of building that flat black top was kind of irrelevant, since I'd completely change it later. I also completely cut out taking out all the concrete work for the pathing, or I guess to cover the pathing, because it's kind of long, and you get the idea. This video is already about almost 41 minutes, and it doesn't need to be any longer than it already is. So I kept it to where it was, and it ended up working out just fine. So yeah, it was really good. The gift shop that, you know, this other mulching area is bordering is gonna be interesting, because I don't know about anyone else's opinion. I'm not well versed on the gift shop scene for the Planet Zoo community, but I gotta be honest. I don't know. I'm just not much of a fan of those modular gift shops. I don't like the flooring. I don't like all the little itty bitty cabinets. I think it's nice for something small. But the idea that I had with how big this gift shop is, I mean, it's a pretty decent sized gift shop, but just filling that with all of those shelves and then manually going through and making them all different products sounds like hell. I'll probably do it. I probably will figure out a way to do the gift shop floors, but I also don't necessarily want to make it by scratch and go in the workshop and do all the little things. So I'm kind of deciding how I want to do this gift shop. We'll see how it goes. It's really big. It's a lot to fill in. So here's where I did the flooring. So this is that. Yeah, see, really like that. I think it really pulls everything together a lot better. It still has that gray white concrete feel, but it just has a little bit of texture to it that gives it that depth. I think it makes it look a lot better. I really like it. I'm not going to continue it out through the whole zoo. I'm only going to make this flooring for the entrance and definitely just a little bit branching out to the next areas. But other than that, I'm just going to keep it in the entrance, kind of give it this more modern feel to it. So yeah, I mean, I like it. So yeah, and then those I think that part got cut out somehow as well. But the two, what's the Douglas firs? Whatever those pointy trees are that I have in the front. I'm completely spacing the name. I initially did like the same brickwork that I did around all the other mulch around those, but it wasn't a perfect circle and I didn't feel like trying to make it a perfect circle. So I actually took one of the fountain pieces that has like the round, I guess like the rounded off edge circles, and I just sank it into the ground and put mulch in it, and it looks like a perfectly good bordering planter kind of like concrete pad. So it worked out really well. I felt good. Felt like I was being innovative. So here I'm doing a centerpiece to this plaza. It felt a little too open, so I wanted to break it up a little bit. I liked how this turned out as well. Definitely feels very modern, definitely fits in the area. So you kind of see how it turns out. I wanted to split it up, make a dual lane. So, you know, when you're leaving, you're going in on the left, or you're coming in on the right, or you'll cross over. So it has this parting feel while also not breaking up, or I guess congesting traffic too much. It still has very wide lanes that are completely manageable. I do a flyover at the very end of this video, and it doesn't actually have everything that I added in it. I realized I did it a little prematurely, and it is what it is. You guys will probably see it in the next video. I think it's in the thumbnail, but I did benching and trash cans throughout this whole area on either side of this planting place and then around the mulch. So it kind of gives it a more, I don't know, public feeling to it. It feels a lot better than what this is right now. It feels a little empty. So it definitely gives it some character. I think it came out really good. But yeah, I think I want to add, I haven't gotten to any lighting yet. Probably do that, but I'm going to do some like step lighting. So I'll sync I sync the New World lighting that they have, those little like, almost like puck lights. I'm going to take those and kind of just barely sink them into the concrete there and have it kind of shine at a downward angle. I think that'll look really good. So yeah, I don't know if I want to be rambling on a little bit too much longer. I know the video is coming to a close soon, but if you have any feedback, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to know some positive, negative feedback. I don't really, and I'm not picky. I like to learn. I like to grow. So please let me know what you think about this entrance. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. I'd love to see this channel grow into something that I love, and I'll leave the rest, short amount of time to just see how I finish this out, and then just a little flyover. So appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.